Hello. Happy October. Happy Halloween if you celebrate. Not that it's a religious holiday, but I never know. If you can't tell by the sound of my voice, I'm sick. There's nothing more to add to that. Although my therapist did say, instead of saying I'm sick, I should say that I'm in the process of recovering or I'm recovering because apparently there's a statistic of people that say that they're sick take longer to recover than people who say they're recovering. Some sort of word of affirmation thing. And he's never been that psychological to me ever. So, there's a first time for everything. But I trust him, so whatever. Today, in honor of it being Halloween, we are going to read scary stories that I found on Reddit. I went to a couple different subreddits. I went to, yeah, I guess I don't really know what they're called. I don't know Reddit like that. I only use it for porn. There's a couple subreddits that I found, just various ones like scary stories, ghost stories, paranormal stories, whatever. And I plucked a couple from varying whatevers. So today, we're just gonna read some scary stories in the dark. Oh, you know the drill. I have my laptop here as lighting. I also have a salt lamp here, but I personally thought that would do more than what it is doing. So, whatevs. I'm joined here with some tea that you can tell because the bags are in here. It is mint tea with some honey. One for fall vibes, two because, like I said, I'm sick. I actually really love mint tea. I'm like choking. I don't, yeah, okay. It's not hot enough to like drink straight from the cup yet. You get it. Let's get started, shall we? I'll be looking off to the corner here because my laptop is down here. And if my microphone is rubbing up against my clothing, just fucking sit through it. I like don't even care anymore. First story that I found is under the subreddit Ghost Stories from user Jacquil. Jaques is a plant. This story is titled The Haunted Saxony House and the Green Faced Lady. Experience. I grew up in an extraordinarily haunted two-story house on Saxony Lane in Houston, Texas in the late 90s. Guys, also quick disclaimer. I can't read. I can't read. I don't really know what happened in my school life, but I can't read. I think I might be dyslexic, so just like hold on to me. I mean, what? Hold on to me. You can do that too if you want. But just hold on, walk with me. I'll get the hang of it. This would be better if I pre-read all of this, but I didn't. I wanted it to be scary for both you and I. I read the first. I like lightly skimmed it, and went with the ones that my intuition was like, yes, this would be whatever. Okay, so I grew up in an extraordinarily haunted two-story house on Saxony Lane in Houston, Texas in the late 90s. Occupants of the house included myself, the oldest daughter, Jacqueline, my little brother, Kenneth, my mother, Norma, and my father. That's a lot of people. My father had grown up in the Saxony house with his three siblings, David, Karen, and Kristen, and later decided to buy the house from his father when he was ready to start a family. Lucky me. Yeah, sounds like it. At the Saxony house, we would see, hear, and experience paranormal things on a regular basis. Sorry, my shirt was choking me. If you see anything behind me, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Constant night terrors, dark and translucent figures standing or running down the hallway that connected our bedrooms, toys and trinkets flying across the room, the piano playing a sweet lullaby by itself, doors opening and slamming shut, lights flickering or turning on and off, TV sets switching to static, shadows engulfing you while your back was turned. Ew, not what's happened. Ew. Bitch, I'm scared. Why am I scared already? And I'm sweating. I want you guys to be able to differentiate me from the background. So I'm wearing this blanket, also to add to the cozy vibes. Can you tell that I'm like stalling reading this because I'm kind of scared? Boot stomping up and down the upstairs hallway or the stairs while we were playing and eating in the living family room or kitchen downstairs. One time, while my dad was away at work, my mother called the police because she thought there was an intruder stomping around and breaking things up. Sorry. because she thought there was an intruder stomping around and breaking things upstairs. But the police came and found no one else in the home. This was just what we came to know as normal, paranormal. Now that you have an introduction to our haunted abode, okay, I can tell you about the green-faced lady. I'm 28 now, but when I was a small child around the ages of 4 to 11, I think it's fair to say my memory started to form around the age of 4. There was this green-faced woman who would appear in my reading nook in the southwest or upper left corner of my room by my closet. She would torment me, call me names, tell me to do unspeakable things. Babe. What lady? Ain't no fucking lady in the chair. She would cackle and reach out her wretched long fingers to point at me. As you could imagine, I would freak the fuck out when this first began happening. I would cry and scream to my parents downstairs. They would lock me in my room upstairs with a gate that I was too small to open. You're a victim. That's that's horrifying. Sometimes they would come up and try to console me and open the gate, but I'd be trembling and crying and explain that the green-faced lady wouldn't let me leave the room. I can't accurately tell you how many hours I spent of my childhood being tormented by that green-faced woman. But eventually, her tricks and scare tactics got old and tired as I aged. I never understood her motivation or what she wanted. My father's sister lived in that bedroom before me, and that green-faced lady knew them as well. After my family finally left the house, my father sold the house to his sister, Karen. I have no idea why we are choosing to keep this cursed house in our family. Okay. And my younger, same-aged boy cousins moved into that room. They told me that the house... Sorry, y'all. I warned you. I warned you that I can't read. They told me that the green-faced lady tries to scare them and make them feel bad about themselves, but they just ignore her. I think if any rational human saw the green-faced lady and experienced her nightmare bedroom, they'd faint in fright. At this point, it's almost like she's a part of our family. I wonder when she'll decide to retire. Okay, y'all, that was spooky as fuck. Spooky as hell. I want to know the tea about the green-faced lady, because, like, this is almost like too minty. Bitch, I can go for some chamomile right now. Oh, I had chamomile this morning. Very good, very good. Oh, wait. That was yesterday. I have a very similar experience, though. Not to the point at which this, like, ghost was, like, tormenting me, but in my old house from, like, ages... basically 6 months to 8, I lived in like this trailer on like shared property with like my family and stuff, and like my aunt lived there as well. And the way that the trailer was set up, it was like living room, kitchen area, long ass hallway, and at the end of the hallway was like my bedroom, the bathroom, and my mom's room in like a triangle. Whatever. And I remember there was a couple different instances, but this specific one, I was like in the bathroom while the tub was filling up or whatever. I don't remember what age I was. I think I was also around like 4, maybe 5. My mom was like waiting for me or something, or no. I don't know the specifics, but I just remember coming out of my bathroom, looking down the hallway into like the living room area and seeing this like guy in a hot like top hat, hot hat, in a top hat, and like a monocle and like with a cane and a mustache, and like so fucking vivid, so vivid. I can remember it to this day, but he was green for some reason, like a fucking Goosebumps episode or something. I don't know, but it was kind of weird. I really used to love mint tea, but this isn't hitting right now. Mainly because it's tasting like medicine. I'm at LA Rodeo Drive. I'm a New York medicine app. So that was very green-faced lady. Kind of scary, kind of spooky if you ask me. Saxony Lane. Moving on. I don't remember what subreddit this one was on because it doesn't really have a title. But it just says, I have a lot of stories. For now, I'll share one of them. For now, I'll share the one from when I was 10 and on a field trip. Here we go. So, I grew up in northern Virginia. I'm just gonna go with the joke, but I can't. So, I grew up in northern Virginia. We had plenty of battlefields and such to visit for school field trips. In 5th grade, my class went to the Belle Grove Plantation. Oh. Which was at Cedar Creek Battlefield. Cool house. still had damage to her columns from gunfire from the battle. Damn, I can't read. Anywho, my class was in the kitchen of the plantation, listening to the tour lady talk about whatever it is you tell a bunch of 10-year-olds about plantation life. There are these big double doors on each side of the room, and they were open. They are open, damn. And then we hear humming coming from outside. The teacher's aide, who I'll call Bulldog, because she looked like one, damn, told us that whoever was humming had to knock it off, whatever. But that's the thing, it wasn't any of us, and it was coming from outside. Bulldog goes out one side of the kitchen, comes back in and goes out the other side that leads to the garden. She comes back in, says to the tour lady no one at all is out there, but she could hear the humming right there in the garden. Doesn't sound like much, right? Well, fast forward a few years later, and I'm reading a Ghost of Vagina's book. There's a story about Belle Grove in it. Apparently, the lady of the house was found in the smokehouse one day, badly beaten, half in the embers, and clear fist imprints on her face. She dies just a few days later. A slave girl was accused of beating and murdering and hanged for it. Oh, clearly I didn't proofread this because I was not expecting any of this. And the lady of the house liked to walk in the garden and was always humming. And various people over the years were witnesses, I guess you could say, to the ethereal humming that would take place in the garden. That just thoroughly freaked me out when I realized I got to witness it too. Okay, that was creepy. Didn't realize it was about, plantations and stuff, but I'm really glad that we went through that together. So I have just a couple more for you guys. This one's a bit long. Okay. From the same guy previous, IDW this, from 5 years ago. Oh, not 2018. He was responding to someone in this thread that was like, do you have any more stories? And he said, yep, sure do. So that's what that is. When I was 14, my dad died. No need to be sad about it. He was an ass. When he was alive, Oh, I did read some of this. When he was alive, he loved to sneak up on people and scare the shit out of them. One of the ways he would do that was to just silently creep up and chill out in the corner of your vision till you realized there was this asshole staring at you. After he passed away, I'd be sitting in the living room watching TV, and I would see him just glide up into the corner of my vision across the room and stand there and stare at me from the front entryway. I'd look over and poof, nothing there. Now, this can easily be written off as me being tired, mind playing tricks on me, etc. But that isn't all of it. I hate when you're drinking tea and it suddenly starts tasting like water with herbs in it. I mean, that's exactly what tea is, but like, I don't know, I'm just a girl. Dad loved to watch history and nature shows, and this was back when the History, Discovery, and A&E channels actually played decent docs and biographies and the like. I remember those days. He was an insomniac, so he'd always be up late with one of these channels on, and the walls were incredibly thin, and I'd always have to beg him to turn the damn sound down so I could sleep when I was a kid. After he died, for a few months, at least once a week, I'd be in bed and all of a sudden hear the TV in the living room, and it would be a documentary on ants or a biography of Churchill and other things. It'd spook me, definitely. My brother wasn't doing it because, for one, he's deaf, and if he were to watch TV, he would just mute it. And also, he had his own TV. My mom worked nights, and it's always happened when she wasn't home. And at this point, my sister had been living on her own for quite some time. I'd get up to see what happened. Maybe the cat had turned on the TV, yeah? But nope, Max the Tuxedo was usually with me in bed or outside. And I'd be able to hear the TV drone on about worker ants as I made my way down the hallway through the kitchen and dining room to the front entryway, and once I'd get to the spot where I could see the living room and the TV, all noise would cease. It'd be dead silent. So quiet you could probably hear a spider fart. I just don't know why that was. I feel like I could easily picture a spider fart, but only through the lens of Adventure Time. But wait, there's more. After he passed, the locked chain and dead-bolted front door would open all on its own to let the cat in. This one happened in front of everyone at differing points over the winter after dear old dad had kicked the bucket. Dear old dad, remember when you would sing to me? But the thing that really got me is this event I'm about to tell you about. Okay, that was all context. I was down in the basement one night watching TV. The basement will always fuck you up. That's where everything happens. My mom was home and in the living room. Whenever she needed me, she'd stomp on the floor to get my attention. That's one way of doing it. And that night she stomped something furious. Okay. I raced upstairs. She's sitting in a chair with a wooden TV tray table in front of her. On the table was a styrofoam cup, and it was shaking violently. There was no open window. There was no fans. I picked up that fucking cup and checked for wires and strings. Whoever wrote this is so funny. I don't know. Absolutely fucking nothing was attached to it, making that damn thing move. I put it back on the table, and it would shake again. Mom, of course, is saying it has to be Dad doing it, and nothing else. The creepy visions, the cat coming in through a bolted and chained front door, and the documentaries about ants being heard all throughout the hours of the night freaked me out as much as that damn cup freaked me out. I knew my mom wasn't doing it. I checked and double-checked. The table was perfectly flat on the door. The table was perfectly flat on the floor. Didn't wobble. There wasn't a way to make that cup move. And not the table itself, you know? It just thoroughly spooked me, and Mom kept saying it had to be Dad. He was a trickster, yada yada yada. So I shout out, if that's you, Dad, knock it the fuck off. And it stopped. I didn't even finish saying it when the cup stopped shaking. After the cup incident, the cat had to wait for a real live human to open the door for him. I heard no more documentaries in the middle of the night, and I didn't ever see Dad creep up in the corner of my vision to stare at me. I don't know, guys. That one's a little scary. That one's a little spooky, if I do say so myself. Spooky, ooky, ooky, kooky bitch. That's kind of weird because growing up, my cousin lived in like this haunted house, and it was really fucking haunted, like really fucking haunted. There was multiple times when just like creepy shit would happen. She had like this back playroom or whatever that would always be creepy as fuck. There was this one instance that I wasn't there for, but my cousin, it's like this infamous story in my family whenever like ghosts and shit come up, because my family's pretty like spiritual and like woohoo, and none of us are religious. But my cousin and my sister were playing barbs with the barbs in this back room that they had. It was the playroom, the back room, and this room was infamous for being fucking terrifying, right? So they were back there, sorry, and they were playing barbs with their barbs or whatever, and they set their barbs down in Barbies. Can I shut the fuck up? They were playing with their Barbies and they put them in their laps, right? Guess who didn't like that? I'm just kidding, guys. It was me. It's because I moved the table. That was my fault. I wanted to blame it on, like, ghosts, but it was my fault. Anyways, they were playing with their Barbies. They set them down in their laps to talk for a second, and they looked back down. Their Barbies had completely switched. Completely switched. Bitch. No. Anyways, moving on. This last story is from a guy from the north. I'm the eldest of 3 siblings, and of course, as we moved house to house, I got the basement bedroom most times. Fucked up. I was fine with this being the eldest. This let me have privacy. Last time I lived in with my family before I moved out on my own, I spent 5 years in the basement bedroom. I know what it's like to have a basement bedroom, not to live in it, but you know, to have one. Through those 5 years, I experienced amazing night terrors. Amazing. And sleep paralysis on a very regular basis. There were a few incidents where I would wake up and the closet on the far side of the room would be open just a crack, and I'd stare at it knowing I had closed it, and it would creak open just a touch more. Then after that would seem like hours slowly close and click shut. Ew, not a slam, not a regular door close, a very slow, methodical one, if that makes sense. I got the picture, bitch. I got it. It's very vivid here. Safe space for your storytelling and your dream telling, because I'm gonna visualize it for sure. On 2 specific nights, I woke up, not suddenly like something jarred me, but just kind of rolled over, and at the foot of my bed saw a girl standing there. Ew, why am I actually like... I don't know why, like this one's actually kind of doing something to me. I'm like kind of sweating, but I only have my blanket on because it feels like some sort of protection. She looked very young, black hair, dark dress, and she did not move. Didn't make a sound, and I never could make out a face. Both times, I reverted immediately back to being 5 years old and hid my face under the sheets while my heart rate went full marathon pace. Eventually, I would feel like it wasn't there anymore and I'd peek out and it would be gone. My parents are not believers in anything paranormal, and I never told them anything thinking they would think I was crazy. I chalked it up to night terrors and extraordinarily realistic dreams during paralysis. I moved out and far away. My next sibling in line got the coveted adult room in the basement, and life went on. I had a few Christmas visits and other holiday runs, and at one point I remember going into that room to get a chair and seeing the closet door nailed shut from the outside. I didn't question it, as I thought there's no way it's related to my experience. Not long after that, on another return visit home, I went and checked the door to that closet. The nails were gone, but in place was a padlock, and there was clearly bundles of sage slash sweetgrass handing above the closet and above the only exterior window in. I worked up the nerve to ask my mom what's the deal with the basement, and she reluctantly told me that my brother had seen things come in and out of the closet, and that he had a girl appear beside his bed and terrorize him on several occasions. Now, no joke, I still haven't told them what I saw because I don't want them to move or be bothered with their basement over this. They are both retired, all kids have moved out, and they seem happy. They have also since gutted and renovated the whole basement. I've stayed there a few times now with my wife and nothing's happened. TLDR, basement bedroom growing up is either haunted or has some environmental thing going on to cause night terrors in more than just me. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Because when it comes to things just like standing there and like peeking and just like staring at you, I don't fuck with it. At least, maybe don't interact. I was gonna say at least interact with me. Don't. Actually don't. I'd actually much rather you sit there and stare because I have a problem with things that lie dormant, like ominously. Like I have a huge fear of like statues. Ew, fuck statues. Because that like mixes my fear of like animatronics almost, or just like human like things with like megalophobia, which is like fear of huge things, and I hate that too. So when you get a statue, just like this humanoid thing, like I'm never going to see that motherfucker, oh god, what's his name? Abraham Lincoln. I'm never seeing that man in that little statue thing somewhere. I don't even know where it is, but I'm never going to see him. It's never gonna happen. Hate statues so much, and I hate big things like that. No innuendo intended. But yeah, that was kind of scary. When it comes to like doors opening and closing, I just like, it's just so fucking scary to me. Because I've had experiences like that as well, where it's like, that door shouldn't be opening, but it is. So I'm terrified. I want to go huddle up in bed and watch Wallace and Gromit. I don't know. I probably won't do that, but that'd be really funny if I did. I kind of want to keep up this whole spooky theme thing for October. Maybe next week I'll do like urban legends. We can do that, or we could do hello, or we can do mythology. We can do whatever you want. Just let me know. I love you. I hope you can sleep tonight because this was so fucking spooky and scary. I probably won't sleep tonight. Please, if you have any nightmares, tell me about them. I want to hear them. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm not praying that you have a nightmare. I just think they're fun to listen to, okay? I think all dreams are fun to listen to, but I don't know. You don't care. I'm going. Goodbye.